This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in the 49-meter band between 1930 and 2030 UTC on 6050 kHz to Europe, between 2130-2230 UTC in the 31-meter band on 9610 kHz to South Asia and Australia, between 23 and 24 UTC in the 49-meter band and on 5960 kHz to Europe, Eastern USA and Canada, and in the 31-meter band on 9660 kHz between 1730 and 1830 UTC to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 4 and 5 UTC in the 49-meter band and on 6125 kHz to Europe, the USA, Eastern Canada and Cuba, between 4 and 5 UTC in the 41-meter band on 7285 kHz to Iraq, Syria, Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Please note that transmissions broadcast between 22 and 23 UTC and between 3 and 4 UTC have been pre-recorded. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is Halil İbrahim Sarıkaya from Voice of Turkey. Today, 23rd of March 2022. You are listening to the news. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan will take part in the extraordinary summit of NATO heads of state and government to be held from March 23rd between 24 in Belgium's capital Brussels. According to a statement by the Turkish Directorate of Communication, the summit will tackle the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as the deterrence and defense structure of the alliance. The participation leaders are also expected to exchange views on the steps and decisions to be taken to shape NATO's future, amid the process leading up to a summit in Madrid slated for June. Erdogan is scheduled to hold talks with heads of state and government on the margins of the summit. Ukraine's foreign ministry warned Tuesday that hundreds of thousands of people stranded in the city of Kherson were running low on supplies, which are at dangerously low levels due to blockade by Russian troops. Kherson's 300,000 citizens face a humanitarian catastrophe owing the Russian army's blockade. Food and medical supplies have almost run out, yet Russia refuses to open humanitarian corridors to evacuate civilians, ministry spokesman Oleg Nikolenko said on his social media account. Russia's barbaric tactics must be stopped before it's too late, he added. The Russia-Ukraine war, which began on February 24th, has been met with the international outrage, with the European Union, US and UK, among others, implementing tough financial sanctions on Moscow. At least 953 civilians have been killed during the war and 1,557 injured, according to a tally by the UN. The international body warns, however, that the true toll is considerably higher. More than 3.5 million people have fled Ukraine amid Russian attacks, according to UN Refugee Agency. Ukraine's president said early Wednesday that negotiations with Russia on ending the war were difficult but are slowly moving forward. In a video address on his Telegram account, Volodymyr Zelensky commented on the latest developments regarding the war, negotiations and evacuations. Ukrainian representatives are working on the negotiations, which continue virtually every day. It is difficult, sometimes scandalous, but step by step we are moving forward, Zelensky said. He noted that the talks with Russia were ongoing at various levels to bring to end the brutal war, which has left thousands of people dead and millions displaced. Some 100,000 people are stranded in the besieged city of Mariupol and are being forced to live under a complete blockade in inhuman conditions without food, water, and medicine, according to Zelensky, who noted that around 7,000 others were evacuated, but Russian forces hampered the evacuation process. Our representatives are trying to agree on humanitarian corridors in Kiev, Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, and Luhansk regions, he said, adding further evacuations will take place in Mariupol on Wednesday. Ukraine says civilians unable to leave Mariupol amid Russian attacks. Ukraine Deputy Prime Minister said Tuesday that more than 100,000 civilians are stranded in the besieged city of Mariupol in southern Ukraine. Civilians want to escape but could not because of the lack of safe humanitarian corridors out of the port city, Ilya Vereshchuk told a local television station. Vereshchuk said residents had to walk for miles to reach southeastern city Zaporizhzhia. She said shelling by Russian forces was also preventing rescue workers from accessing the site of bombed theater in Mariupol, where authorities say hundreds were believed to be seeking shelter when it was hit by an airstrike last week. More than 1,000 people, including women and children, were hiding in the building during the attack Wednesday, the Mariupol City Council said on Telegram. And that was the news brought to you by the Voice of Turkey.